All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're looking at inverse functions. Okay, so we did stuff where we were using square roots and things like that to add things together. We did some function notation where we like added, subtracted, multiplied, divided functions. Now we're going to look at inverse. Okay, inverse really just means opposite. So the first thing we're going to do is an inverse relation maps the output values back to the original input. So it's like whatever the x values are, they're now the y values. Whatever the y values are, they're now the x values, is what inverse is. Okay? Two functions, g, f, and g, are called inverse functions provided that f g of x equals g f of x. According to the horizontal line test, if no horizontal lines intersect the graph of a function, f more than once in the inverse of f is itself a function. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to plot these points. So at -2, we're going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4. At -1, we go up 2. At 0, we're at 0. At 1, we're at -2. And at 2, we're at -4. Okay, now the inverse of that function is literally you're just switching them. So for when x is 4, y is -2. When x is 2, y is -1. When x is 0, y is 0. When x is -2, y is 1. When x is -4, y is 2. I'm literally switching these.
Oh, all right, got it. Oh, God. So you do the opposites on that other side. You just put it right to left now.
Yep. So now we're going to plot these functions to see if it's a function. Shh. We're recording this. We're trying to get through the notes. We need to focus. Shh. We're going to go over 1, 2, 3, 4, down 2. We're going to go over 2, down 1. We're going to go over 0, up 0. We're going to go -2, up 1. And we're going to go -4, up 2. Okay, so it looks different, but it still passes the vertical line test. They're still functions. Okay, so that's how we do it if we have a table. Okay, if you have a graph, usually what I would do is just find points on the graph and do the opposite, to find that inverse. Okay, so now we're going to find inverse of these relations. So if you have an equation, how am I going to find the inverse? Literally what I'm going to do is see how y is here and x is here. I'm just going to switch them and then solve for y to figure out what it is. So I get x equals 4y plus 8. Okay? Now I want to get y all by itself. So I'm going to subtract 8. So I get x minus 8 equals 4y. I divide everything by 4. So y equals x minus 8 over 4. That's my final answer. Okay. So for B, can you guys tell me what the first thing I'm going to do for B?
X equals.
Okay, x equals.
All right, that's all I got for you.
What else?
1/3y plus 2.
There, good. All right. Now we're just going to subtract 2 from each side. So x minus 2 equals 1/3 y. I have a lot of people get stuck right here. What do I do to get rid of that 1/3?
You multiply?
Yeah, so I multiply by 3 over 1. So 3x minus 6 equals y. Do you guys see that I distributed to get that? Okay. For C, what's the first thing I do for C?
X equals.
Okay.
That's all I got.
You can do the rest. Come on. Negative.
-3y plus 2.
Okay. What do I do now? Minus 12. Shh. So I get x minus 12 equals negative 3y. What do I do now?
Divide by 3.
Negative 3. But yes. X minus 12 over negative 3 equals y. And we're done.
Why does this look so easy? I'll wait until tomorrow.
Should be.
We got to the next step.
All right. Let's turn it over.
Oh, there we go.
Okay. This looks confusing. All it is we're going to do exactly what we did on the front to prove that they're each other. Okay? So, f of x equals x minus 3. This is the same thing. Guys, focus. Focus, please. This is the same thing as y equals x minus 3. I'm teaching up here. Y equals x minus 3. We're just going to do the same thing where we flip. X equals y minus 3. And then we're going to solve for y. So y equals x plus 3. Oh, look, that's the same thing as g of x. So that so far is correct. Now we want to see if g of x is equal to, the inverse is equal to f of x. So we first change it to y equals x plus 3. Then we switch. X equals y plus 3. I'm going to subtract 3 from each side. And I do get y equals x minus 3. So these are, yes, they are inverses. Okay, so you guys help me out. What's the first thing I do for b? Instead of f of x, I'm going to write... Okay, now what do I do? I've got y equals 1/2 x plus 3. What do I do next? Nope. X equals 1/2 y plus 3. Now what do I do? Subtract 3, good. X minus 3 equals 1/2 y. Now I'm going to times everything by? The opposite of 1/2 is 2. Good. Times it by 2. So I get 2x minus 6 equals y. Is that the same thing as g of x? Yep, they're the same thing. So far, so good? Yeah. All right, what's the first thing I do with g of x? Yep, equals 2x minus 6, and then I'm going to do what? X equals 2y minus 6. Now what do I do? Add 6. Yeah. So x plus 6 equals 2y, and then what? Yep. Which is 1/2 x plus 3 equals y. So yes, they are inverses. Do you want to do one more together, or do you want to try one on your own? You guys want to try one? Okay. Try C, and then we'll check the answers. Try C right now. Try it on your own. You can do it.
I really can't. I'm just trying to keep up. I'm just trying to keep up.
It's an early release day. You guys won't have enough time to take it. I'm worried. Yeah.
On Friday?
Yes. Early in the morning.
In the morning?
Exactly.
That's what I was about to say.
Are you guys getting confused because it's to the third? Okay, so we change this. Let's do it then. Y equals 8x to the third, so that's the same thing as x equals 8y to the third. Okay, because that's how we change it to an inverse. And then we're going to divide both sides by 8. And we get 1/8 x, or 1x over 8 is going to make more sense. X over 8 equals y to the third. And then how do we get rid of anything to the third? We take it to the third root, but yeah. Okay, so we get x to the 1/3, because that's the same thing as third root. And what times what equals 8? 2. Oh, look, it's the same thing. So let's do this side. Y equals x to the 1/3 over 2. We're going to switch them. So x equals y to the 1/3 over 2. We'll times both sides by 2.
Oh, no, what do you? No, I
So see how it's being, okay. So we changed where x and y was. Everybody's okay with that part?
No.
That's the whole point of it. Is literally where there's a y, you put an x, where there's an x, you put a y. That's it. Okay. Now it's being divided by 2. What's the opposite of division? Multiply. So we multiply both sides by 2. So we get 2x equals y to the 1/3. How do we get rid of something to the 1/3? We take it to the third. Okay, they cancel. 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. X times x times x is x to the third.
This might be a hard out.
Okay, why don't you guys try your homework?
There ain't no trying.
So let's go back because you guys are all freaked out. You guys were fine until we put something to the third root. Okay, so if we look at the only things that have anything squared or to the third root is 9, 10, and 11. Okay, so just try those, but you can do 1 through 8 without a problem. Okay, go, do your work. You can do this.